Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol.
Hare Bol.
Okay, we'll start with Jaya Radha Madhava. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Gopi Janvalabha Girivaradhari.
Jaya Gopi Janavallava Girvaradari.
Jai Gopi Janvalabha Girivaradhari.
Jaya Gopi Janavallava Girvaradari.
Yashodanandana Brajjana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Jamuna Tira Banachari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
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 Gopi Janvalabha Girivaradhari.
Jaya Gopi Janavallava Girvaradari.
Jai Gopi Janvalabha Girivaradhari.
Jaya Gopi Janavallava Girvaradari.
Yashodanandana Brajjana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana.
Yashodanandana Brajjana Ranjana
Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari.
Yamuna Tira Vanachari
Yamuna Tira Vanachari.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna, Hare
Hare Hare
Hare, Hare
Hare Rama
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama, Rama
Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama.
Hare Hare.
Nitai Gaura Haribo,
Haribo,
Haribo, Haribo, Nitai Gaura Haribo,
Nitya Gaura Haribo,
Hari
Haribo,
Bol, Hari Bol,
Haribo,
Jai
Nitai
Gaura.
Gaura Haribo.
Haribo.
Jai Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya
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 Prabhupada, Prabhupada,
Prabhupada,
Prabhupada,
Prabhupada,
Jaya Jaya
Jaya
Prabhupada.
Prabhupada.
Jai Jaya Gurudev,
Gurudev.
Gurudev, Gurudev, Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya
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 Gurudev,
Gurudev.
Gurudev, Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Go to Premanande. Hari
Hari
Hari Bo. All glories to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai.
Jai.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Ati Jai.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om
Om
Namo
Namo
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jeva Narottamam
Devanarottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtike. So today we're reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 5, the creative impetus, Chapter 5, Lord Rishabhdev's teachings to his sons. And today's verse is text number 27. Mano vachodrik karanehitasya.
Mano Vachodri Karane Hitasya.
Mano vakodrik karanehitasya.
Mano Vachodri
Manovachodri
Karane
Karanehasya
Hitasya.
Sakshat kritam me paribarhanam hi.
Sakshat
Kritam
Kritam
me
Me
paribharanam
Parivaranam
hi.
Hi.
Sakshat kritam me paribarhanam hi.
Sakshat
Sakshat kritam me paribharanam
Parivaranam Hi.
Vina pumanyena mahavimohat.
vinapamanyena
Mahabhimohat.
mahavimohat
Vina pumanyena mahavimohat.
vinapamanyena mahavimohat
Mahabhimohat.
Kritantapashanna vimoktam ishet.
Kirtan Pashana Vimoktum Ishat.
Kritanta Pashana Vimoktum Ishet.
Kritāntapasanna vimoktamese.
Mano Vachodrik Karanehi Hitasya.
Mano vachudri
Vachudri hitasya.
Chakshat Kritam Me Paribarhanam Hi.
Sakshat kritam me paribharanam hi.
Vina Pumanyena Mahavimohat.
vina
Pumanyena
mahavimohat.
mahavimohat.
Kritanta Pashana Vimoktum Ishet.
Kritantapashana
Vimoktumishe.
Please chant.
Mano Vachotri Karane Hitasya.
Mano vachudri karane tasya.
Sakshat Kritam Me Parivarhanam Hi.
Sakshat kritam me parivarhanam hi.
Vina Pumanyena Mahavimohat.
Vina
Pumanyena mahavimohat.
Tapashana Vimoktum Eshat.
Kritantapashana vimoktamise.
Mano Vachodrak Karane Hitasya.
Mano
Vachodri
karane hidasya.
Sakshat Kritam Me Paribarhanam Hi.
Sakshat kritam me parivarhanam hi.
Vina Pumanyena Mahavimohat.
Vina
Pumanyena mahavimohat.
Kritantapashana Vimoktumishet.
Kritantapasana vimoktumishe.
Mano vachadri karane hitasya.
Mano vachudri karane hidasya.
Sakshat kritam me paribharanam hi.
Sakshat kritam me paribarhanam hi.
Vinapumanyena mahavimohat.
Vina
Pumanyena
vimohat.
Kritantapasana vimoktamise.
Kritantapashana vimoktumishe.
Okay. We'll move to word for word. Manaha,
Manaha.
mind.
Mind.
Vachaha,
Vachaha.
words.
Words.
Drik,
Drik.
sight.
Sight.
Karana,
Karana.
of the senses.
Of the senses.
Ihitasya,
Ihitasya
of all activities.
of
Of
all
all
activities
For the maintenance of
for maintenance of
body, society, friendship, and so on.
body,
society, friendship, and
friendship,
so
and
on.
so on.
Shakshat,
Sakshat.
Sakshat,
kritam,
kritam,
directly offered.
Directly offered.
Me,
me,
of me.
of
Of
me,
me.
Paribarhanam,
paribharanam,
worship.
Worship.
He,
he,
because.
because,
Vina,
vina,
without.
without,
Puman,
puman,
any person.
any
Any
person,
person.
Yena,
yena,
which.
which,
Mahavimohat,
mahabhimoha,
Vimohat.
from the great illusion.
from the
The
great
great
illusion,
illusion.
Kritanta Pashat,
Kritantapasha,
Pashat.
exactly like the stringent rope of Yamaraj.
exactly
Exactly
like the
like the
stringent
stringent
rope
rope
of
of
Yamaraj.
Yamaraj.
Na,
Na
not
not
vimuktam,
vimuktam,
vimuktum.
to become free,
To
to
become
become
free.
free,
ishet,
Ishet.
Ishet
becomes able.
becomes able.
Translation, please repeat. The true activity of the sense organs,
The
The
true
true activity
activity
of the
of the
sense
sense
organs,
organs,
mind, sight, words, and all the knowledge gathering
mind,
Mind,
sight,
sight,
words,
words,
and
and
all the
all the
knowledge
knowledge
gathering,
gathering,
and working
and
senses
and what
and
working
working
senses
senses
is to engage fully in my service.
is to
is to
engage fully in my
fully in my
service.
service.
Unless his senses are thus engaged,
Unless his
Unless the
senses are
senses
thus
are thus
engaged,
engaged,
a living entity cannot think of getting out
a
a
living
living
entity
entity
cannot
cannot think of
getting
getting
out
out
of the great entanglement of material existence,
of the
of
great
the great
entanglement of the
entanglement of
material
material
existence,
existence,
which is exactly like Yamaraja's stringent rope.
which is exactly like Yamaraja's stringent rope.
stringent ropes.
Thank you. Purport, please hear. As stated in the Narada Pancharatra, Sarvo bhari vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam rishikena hrishikesha sevanam bhaktir yuchyate. This is the conclusion of bhakti. All the time, Lord Rishabdev has been stressing devotional service, and now he is concluding by saying that all the senses should be engaged in the Lord's service. There are 5 senses by which we gather knowledge, and 5 senses with which we work. These 10 senses and the mind should be fully engaged in the Lord's service. Without engaging them in this way, one cannot get out of the clutches of Maya. Om Jnana Timirandasya Janandana Salakaya Chakshulun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So welcome everyone, welcome to class. And I'm so grateful for your attendance. It's always such a blessing to be able to glorify Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And as such, I'm very grateful for this opportunity to serve, to try to serve the glories of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So before we begin, please, may I ask for your blessings. Today, it's my birthday, so please allow those blessings to flow upon me. And also, please be very generous with your forgiveness toward me if I make any mistakes or somehow offend your ears. That's not my intention. Especially on my birthday, please be kind. So,
Happy Krishna Krishna's birthday, Mataji.
Happy birthday,
Haribo,
Mataji.
thank you. Thank you very
Have a
much.
great day.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So, today we're reading from this, wow, knowledge-packed, chapter 5, in Lord Rishabdev's teachings to his sons. In this chapter, there is a description of Bhagavata Dharma, religious principles and devotional service that transcend religious principles for liberation and the mitigation of material misery. It is stated in this chapter that a human being should not work hard like dogs and hogs for sense gratification. The human life is especially meant for the revival of our relationship with the Supreme Lord. And to this end, all kinds of austerities and penances should be accepted. By austere activities, one's heart can be cleansed of material contamination, and as a result, one can be situated on the spiritual platform. To attain this perfection, one has to take shelter of a devotee and serve him. And then the door of liberation will be open. Those who are materially attached to women and sense gratification gradually become entangled in material consciousness and suffer the miseries of birth and old age, disease, and death. Those who are engaged in the general welfare of all and who are not attached to children and family are called Mahatmas. Those who are engaged in sense gratification, who act piously or impiously, cannot understand the purpose of the soul. Therefore, they should approach a highly elevated devotee and accept him as a spiritual master. By his association, one will be able to understand the purpose of life. Under the instructions of such a spiritual master, one can attain devotional service to the Lord, detachment from material things, and tolerance of material misery and distress. One can then see all living entities equally, and one becomes very eager to know about transcendental subject matters. Endeavoring persistently for the satisfaction of Krishna, one becomes detached from wife, children, and home. He is not interested in wasting time. In this way, one becomes self-realized. A person advanced in spiritual knowledge does not engage anyone in material activity. And one who cannot deliver another person by instructing him in devotional service should not become a spiritual master, a father, mother, demigod, or husband. Instructing his 100 sons, Lord Rishabdev advised them to accept their eldest brother, Bharata, as their guide and Lord, and thereby serve him. Of all living entities, the Brahmanas are the best. And above the Brahmanas, the Vaishnavas are situated in an even better position. Serving a Vaishnava means serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus Sukadeva Goswami describes the characteristics of Bharata Maharaj and the sacrificial performance executed by Lord Rishabdev for the instruction of the general populace. So, coming now to today's translation, again, the true activity of the sense organs, mind, sight, words, and all the knowledge gathering and working senses is to engage fully in my service. Unless his senses are thus engaged, a living entity cannot think of getting out of the great entanglement of material existence, which is exactly like Yamaraja's stringent rope. And then, as stated within the Narada Pancharatra, this is the conclusion or the essence of Bhakti Yoga, that which Lord Rishabdev has done nothing but speak on, this devotional service. And now he concludes with this statement: use your material senses in service to the Lord. Use your knowledge acquiring senses and your working senses. Use them all in the loving devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because this is how you get out of Maya. So, very nice. Very nice indeed. Again, how jam-packed can this chapter possibly be? So for today's class, I thought to try and compare engaging some of these senses in devotional service with that of one who engages the senses in material existence. Compare these, and perhaps illuminate or clarify for ourselves how devotional service is clearly, by far, the better engagement, the better utilization of one's senses among sincere devotees, devotees of Lord Krishna. So firstly, let me elaborate on these senses being described today. And in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 2.235, Bhagavan sarva bhuteshu laksita svatmana harihi rishaye buri adbir drasta lakshanir anumak pakai. From within the purport. All our ordinary actions and perceptions depend on various forms of energy supplied to us by nature in various combinations. Our senses of perception and of action, that is to say, our 5 perceptive senses of hearing, touch, sight, taste, and smell, as well as our 5 senses of action, namely hands, legs, speech, evacuation organs, and reproductive organs. And also there are 3 subtle senses, namely the mind, intelligence, and ego. So 13 senses in all are supplied to us by various arrangements of gross or subtle forms of natural energy. This conclusively proves that the ordinary living being has no independent power of perception or of motion. And as we undoubtedly feel our existence being conditioned by nature's energy, we conclude that he who sees is spirit, and that the senses as well as the objects of perception are material. So these are our senses. And one way of using them is to engage them purely for our own indulgence and our own selfish sense gratification, just for our own pleasure only. Why not? And the ancient Greeks' term for that is called hedonism, or leading a hedonistic lifestyle, which is one of the a lifestyle which is one of absolute, unashamed self-indulgence. Hedonism is the belief that one's own pleasure is the highest good and the main goal of life. It teaches people that you should try to get as much joy as you possibly can out of this life and stay away from any discomfort or pain. That's no good for you. So this word hedonism comes from an old Greek term meaning pleasure. And of these philosophical types, there's ethical hedonism, the moral idea that actions are right if they bring pleasure to myself and wrong if they cause me pain. And psychological hedonism would be a theory that human actions are always driven by the basic need to seek pleasure and dodge pain. And the value we attach to this idea of hedonism, aka material life, the view that pleasure has true intrinsic worth above everything else. And an everyday meaning of this hedonism, it's about self-indulgence, living a life focused purely on sensory fun, luxury, and physical joy. Another modern view would be we use this to describe a reckless or lazy lifestyle of constant partying. And another way, a more ancient way of using this hedonistic word would be early thinkers like Epicurus actually meant finding calm, simple peace and freedom from fear, not wild partying. Anyway, let's compare this idea of hedonism, or as I like to say, modern day lifestyles. just purely using one's own senses, fully engaged in simply pleasing the self, my wants and needs. I want a pretty house. I want lovely holidays overseas. Why not? Everybody else says. I want to look really young, youthful. I want all the energy. Give me energy drinks. Make me cool. I want to be appealing, attractive. That is material life. That is what our children are being taught every time they engage with social media. That is what adults are engaging with every time they go to the movie theater and think they're innocently watching a movie. No, you're not. You're absorbing all of those messages of, I want to be just like Iron Man. I want to be cool and hip like him. I want to be an Avenger like him. No, we have our own heroes within Vedic history. We don't need these false prompts that we get from the material world. They're prompting us to want more, to desire more, to need more for myself, my wants, my needs above all else. This is hedonism, aka the material world. Now let's try and compare that with perhaps how a devotee might try to utilize these senses. And in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 9, I'm going to read a little excerpt. Here's a quote that we're leading up to, but I'm going to read the quote right now. Indeed, Maharaj Ambarish never desired anything for his own sense gratification. He engaged all his senses in devotional service and various engagements related to the Lord. This is the way to increase attachment for the Lord and be completely free from all material desires. Now, within Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 9.4, verses 18 to 20, within the translation and purport, Maharaj Ambarish always engaged his mind in meditating upon the lotus feet of Krishna. His words in describing the glories of the Lord, his hands in cleansing the Lord's temple, and his ears in hearing the words spoken by Krishna or about Krishna. He engaged his eyes in seeing the deity of Krishna, Krishna's temples and Krishna's places like Mathura and Vrindavana. He engaged his sense of touch in touching the bodies of the Lord's devotees. He engaged his sense of smell in smelling the fragrance of tulasi offered to the Lord. And he engaged his tongue in tasting the Lord's prasad. He engaged his legs in walking to the holy places and temples of the Lord, his head in bowing down before the Lord, and all his desires in serving the Lord 24 hours a day. Indeed, Maharaj Ambarish never desired anything for his own sense gratification. He engaged all his senses in devotional service and various engagements related to the Lord. This is the way to increase attachment for the Lord and to be completely free from all material desires. There's quite a bit more that I took for this quote, but I'm conscious of the time and we've got a bit to get through and it's important. So I'm just going to move now. So clearly that was an example of Maharaj Ambarish, fully engaged, all the senses in devotional service. And in Vanipedia, our bona fide website, Vanipedia, the essence of Vedic knowledge, I found this article, which I think really speaks to today's topic. So I'm going to read it now. Purifying the instrument, engaging our senses in devotional service to God. The human body is often compared to a complex instrument that is currently out of tune, producing the discordant notes of material attachment. Srila Prabhupada teaches that the purpose of bhakti is to purify the instrument by engaging the senses in the original constitutional function. This is not a process of negation, but of dovetailing or aligning our independence and sensory energy with the desires of the Supreme. When we move from the stage of Hirishika Sevanam, satisfying our own senses, to Rishikesha Sevanam, serving the master of the senses, we achieve the perfection of life. This article examines the definition of devotional engagement, the necessity of superior occupation for the senses, and the state of liberation achieved through active service. Jai. Rishikesha Sevanam, the absolute definition. The core of Srila Prabhupada's teaching on sense enjoyment is found in the simple definition of bhakti. Rishikesha Sevanam. Rishika refers to the senses. And when they are used for personal gratification, it is called maya or karma. However, when those same senses are used for satisfaction of Krishna, the proprietor of the senses, it is called bhakti. This is not a matter of sentimental fanaticism, but a practical, scientific stage of life that exists even after liberation. By serving the master of the senses, the living entity returns to their natural, healthy state. Bhakti means engaging all the senses in the service of the master of the senses, Rishikesha Sevanam, not Rishika Sevanam. Rishika means senses. So when senses are used for sense gratification, that is maya. And when senses are used for the gratification of the master of the senses, that is called bhakti. Very simple definition. Bhakti is the stage after liberation. Unless one is liberated, one cannot engage in the senses in the service of the Lord. Bhakti, or devotional service, means engaging all our senses in the service of the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Master of all the senses. When the spirit soul renders service unto the Supreme, there are two side effects. Purification through superior engagement. The senses are inherently active and cannot be controlled by artificial repression. Cannot be controlled by artificial repression. Srila Prabhupada explains that the only way to control them is to provide a better engagement. If we do not engage our senses in the transcendental service of the Lord, they will inevitably return to material activities like politics, sociology, or mundane love. Through the process of sadhana bhakti, the unpurified senses are gradually cleansed. When the mind and senses are thus occupied 24 hours a day, material desires automatically diminish, and the living entity transcends the platform of material nature. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the senses can be controlled only by better engagements. Devotional service necessitates purifying the senses or engaging them in the activities of devotional service. One may externally control the senses by some artificial process, but unless the senses are engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord, there is every chance of a fall. The activities of the senses can be stopped if they are given superior engagements. The supreme engagement is engagement of the senses in the service of the Lord. That is the purpose of all yoga. When transcendental devotional service by which love for Krishna is attained is executed by the senses, it is called sadhana bhakti, or the regulative discharge of devotional service. Ki Jai. Historical examples. Ambarish and Priyavrata. The practical application of some sense engagement is seen in the lives of great devotees like Emperor Ambarish and Prince Priyavrata. Ambarish Maharaj utilized every sense, his ears for submissively hearing Krishna's words and his eyes for viewing the deities. Similarly, Prince Priyavrata practiced bhakti yoga by constantly remembering the Lord, thus keeping all his senses engaged. Srila Prabhupada notes that success is guaranteed for any devotee who fully engages even one of their senses in this way, as it effectively pours water on the root of one's spiritual existence. Emperor Ambarish adopted all the 9 items of devotion, and he attained perfect success. It was he who engaged his ears in submissively hearing the words of Lord Sri Krishna, his eyes in viewing the deities of the Lord. Prince Priyavrata, however, was continuously practicing bhakti yoga by constantly remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead, thus engaging all his senses in the service of the Lord. Success is guaranteed for a devotee who fully engages any one of his senses in the mode of devotional service. Revelation and the Siddha Deha. The ultimate goal of sense purification is the awakening of the Siddha Deha, or the original spirit body. When a devotee engages their senses favorably, the Lord reveals himself through his causeless mercy, Svayam eva spurati adaha. By submitting everything, intelligence, mind, and senses, to Lord Narayana, the practitioner is imperceptibly liberated. This transcendental engagement ensures that a devotee who enters the kingdom of God will never again be attracted to the limited, contaminated surroundings of the material world. Sevan mukhehi drivadho svayam eva spurati adaha. When a devotee engages his senses favorably in devotional service, the Lord, through his causeless mercy, reveals himself to the devotee. This is the conclusive Vedic process. Spiritual body is called Siddha Deha, the body by which one can render transcendental service unto Radha and Krishna. The process is that of engaging the transcendental senses in loving devotional service. Simply by fixing oneself in Krishna consciousness, engaging the senses in the service of the Lord, one is imperceptibly liberated. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. When our senses are purified by constantly being engaged in the devotional service of the Lord, we can understand Krishna's activities, names, forms, qualities, pastimes, and entourage. Conclusion. Properly engaging the senses is the bridge between material conditioning and spiritual revelation. Srila Prabhupada's instructions clarify that we do not need to abandon our sensory faculties, but rather refine their purpose. By purifying the instrument of the body through Rishikesha Sevanam, the practitioner transcends the dualities of material life and experiences the blissful presence of the Lord. Ki Jai. Whether through hearing, chanting, or following the systemic regulations of sadhana bhakti, the goal remains to anchor every sense, anchor every one of our senses in Krishna. This active dedication ensures that the devotee is no longer a servant of their desires, but a master of their senses, eternally situated in the transcendental loving service of the Lord.
So that's really nice.
When I read that in researching today's class, I didn't really want to go any further. And unfortunately, I didn't. Because I thought that really captured it in a nutshell. These senses, these senses of acquiring knowledge through which we see, read, through which we hear from others, and the prasadam we may taste. But then our limbs, engaging this body, use the legs for this walking action. Get yourself to a temple. This online forum we use is beautiful. Thank you, Krishna. Because it means, you know, ever since COVID, the world changed and we were able to work from home and be remote in our contact with our professional peers. And guess what? We've Krishnified this realm as well. We've been able to beautify Zoom and this technology. Why? Because we're utilizing it in devotional service, just like our acharyas were able to use motor vehicles. We can use computers and phones to do what? Engage in devotional service, not just the original intention, I think, of internet was just mindless dribble, more hedonism. But we can take back that space by utilizing these energies in Krishna's service, in devotional service. And I've kind of lost what I was talking about there. But anyway, yes. This devotional service, we can use our legs, our arms, our everything, our body. So yes, it's this mind, body, spirit, using it everything in Krishna's service. And here's the thing, don't limit this idea of service. Yes, this is an ancient practice we're engaging in. From time immemorial, from the Lord himself. Can't count that time. The practice, the meaning, the intention is ancient. The utility, how we go about that is modern. It's here, it's now. It's in the modern language we use. It's in this modern technology we use. Now we have to be clever about this, devotees, and take this ancient knowledge, which is real and true, and apply it within a today type context. Don't dismiss using technology as, oh, no. It's moochie. Oh, no. No, we don't walk to the temple, we get in our car. And just as Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur did. I've got a very poor memory. Srila Prabhupada's guru utilized the motor vehicle. Srila Prabhupada utilized the airplane. It's there for us to use. These energies are not, even though this is a world of hedonism, this is a world of purely self-indulgent peoples, bringing us, Prabhu said the other day, bringing us iPhone 19. Thank you. Let me take that iPhone 19, stop it being used in the most calming of fashions, and I'll tell you what I'm going to use it for. I'm going to plug into a class. Or I'll tell you what I'm going to use it for. I'm going to read something on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. This is how devotees operate in the here and now. We appreciate and understand the value of these ancient lessons, but how do we communicate that with others? We have to utilize these modern conveniences in the most devotional of ways. And in fact, speaking of which, I remember Srila Prabhupada used to think his microphone, his recorder, huge microphone and really bulky recording thing for his transcription. He just thought that was the bee's knees. How amazing technology. And the reason I say that is because on Saturday, when we were doing our monthly Sankirtan festival, and that's a monthly devotional activity, devotional service that devotees all around Brisbane can get involved with, wherein a table is set up in King George Square and devotees gather and chant. There's kirtan, and then there's active book distribution going on. And of course, last Saturday, the Prabhus from New Govardhan joined us. And they get around on this really beat up old dunga of a blue van. Anyway, I'd heard they were coming, probably why I made the special effort to go myself. And but we'd already got going. We were into it. The table was set up. Devotees were already giving out books, giving out cards. I was leading kirtan. We would go. But next minute, they pulled it, and my technology story. I'm getting there. And out came these, flying out of the van came these brahmacharis. Oh, the energy was electrifying. And the mood was such that that transcendental activity was breathtaking for myself. And the technology was, first time I ever touched it, was the what the brahmacharis use with their sankirtan, with their harinam, the microphone, the Janet Jackson microphone, and this shoulder bag of a little amplifier. And one devotee insisted that I put it on. I said, oh, I've got a loud voice, I'm good. But someone said, put it on, because obviously you're not going to be singing for 5 minutes. You're going to sing for a long time. Use the technology. And so I did, but I didn't have it on at all. The microphone was poking this way. The amp was into my tummy, and I was still enjoying it. And devotees were trying to correct the scene because I looked silly and nobody could hear me, apparently. So where was I with that? Technology. I've never seen this microphone-y thing or this get up before, but of course devotees are all over it. I'm sure each and every one of them have got a couple of them each. Why? Because they love going out on Harinam. How to do it effectively? Use the technology. So it's service of these ancient and deep and meaningful spiritual teachings that are using everyday modern technology to get the message out there, to get the service done to the best it can be. Sorry, that was a little bit of a waffle. But I think I was trying to elaborate on this idea of trying to engage the senses in all of them, all of the senses, 10, 13, everything, your whole body, mind, in Krishna's service. Don't be fooled into thinking all this modern technology or these modern computers and modern facilities are just for hedonism, just for self-indulgence. No, it's not. Take it back, devotees. Use it for its correct use. Engage everything, even these modern gadgets, in Krishna's service. And we can't go wrong. So I think I'll stop there because I'm just waffling now. And I'm sure devotees would like to add their own, chime in with your own ideas of anything to do with what I've said just now. Or bless me some more for my birthday. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your attendance and listening so nicely to class today. Please open your mic if you'd like to ask a question or share something.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams.
Haribol, Mataji.
Happy Appearance Day, first of all.
Thank you. Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
that is why I have just switched on my mic. And you see, as you said, technology, who else other than me can understand this better? I can hear you even in PNG. I never knew it was your appearance day today. Otherwise, I would have sent a big package of gift from here
Thank you.
online. So you see, the technology can help us even with
Perfect.
that. It was a
Yeah.
very nice class. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Yamuna.
Haribol, Mataji.
Very, very, very Krishna conscious appearance day to you.
Thank you, buddy.
So you are so fortunate to give a class on your appearance day.
Yes.
All the blessings of Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga to you, and may Krishna bless you so you can advance, progress in spiritual journey. Thank you very much again for such a wonderful class. You know, this verse, only one thing which Srila Prabhupada has given one shloka, Sarvapati Vimer Bhuktam, Tat Paretvina Nirmulam Rishikena Rishikesha, Sevnam Bhaktir Uchyate. So we can see that service is the main thing. And this all the designations, I'm this, I'm that, I'm engineer, doctor, different upadhis are there. These are the things which is such a important from Pancharatra Vidhi, the Narad Pancharatra Vidhi, this, and this is actually basis in our Krishna consciousness. This verse is the main verse which we tells us that how we can serve the senses of Krishna. And if we engage our senses, as you mentioned, I always sum up like this, that one thing is that getting out of these designations, who am I? And that's the side effect of this verse. That, and the other thing is serving the senses of Krishna. Instead of serving our own senses, sense gratification, we serve Krishna. And that's how we can have the pure bhakti of the Lord. So that's really beautiful verse. I always remember this for a long time. It's in Bhakti Rasmrita Sindhu 1:1-112, but it's taken from Narada Pancharatra. So thank you very much again, and I hope you have a lovely day, full of Krishna's pastimes and memories, and have a good time with your family, having a prasadam and giving them prasadam or honoring prasadam with them. Hare Krishna, all the best.
Thank you very much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Shailendra here.
Haribol, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. I have two questions in this about the working sense. We have an excreting working sense, which is classified as a working sense. Why is the excreting pathway classified as a working sense? The nose is also, there is in and out air going. There is tears in the eyes which has duct, so those are excreting as well. There is saliva glands excreting. So why is that organ excreting is called as a working sense? That's the one question. Second question is, how do you engage this working sense in the service?
Perfect, because that's tied up with my answer. Wonderful.
Right. Thank you.
I was just thinking how to answer, but yes, you've given it. So how to engage these evacuating, excreting senses in devotional service. I can cry for Krishna. My tears can be genuine in my longing to try to serve him nicely. So that might be one way. And stool, that might be an obvious one. Why? How on earth could urine and stool possibly be a devotional service if it is the byproduct of prasadam? That would be a good service. That would be a sanctified urine and stool. So, yes, nice question, Prabhu. It seems on the surface that these excreting bodily fluids or even stool, how on earth could one think of that in terms of bhakti? Well, engaging everything means one, the body is already aligned with Krishna. So one would think that if those are devotional tears, then they're purified. And one would think if one is filling one's tummy regularly with prasadam, with foodstuffs, that Krishna himself likes. That's why he's eating them. So you're now eating those remnants, and those remnants are passing through your blessed body. That stool is sanctified now. So therefore, the things that you alluded to, Prabhu, are the byproducts of devotional service. That's how I see it. Certainly, if there are any other devotees in the room who want to add to that, please do. But that would be my answer.
They are not directly working towards the service, but they are indirectly working.
There you go, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Yeah, they're indirectly working. If they don't work, everything goes haywire.
That's right. That's right.
And Mataji, in this chapter, in fifth canto, when Rishabdev leaves the kingdom and he goes to the forest and he's about to leave the body, he will not wear clothes and he will rub his stool and urine on his body so that people won't come closer to him. And in like a normal human being like us will think, oh, how bad, how gross that he's rubbing his own stool. But his stool, he, Lord himself, was so
Fragrant.
fragrant. Yeah, up to
Yes.
kilometers, there will be nice fragrance because of his stool and urine. So you see, and the urine and the stool, which I think a devotee releases, and it goes in plants as manure, or it goes in the pig's stomach. They also might be emancipated because of the Harinam in that.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
And there was one story, Mataji. Um, Janabai, she was making the cakes of cow dung, and
I was just going to say cow dung. Carry on. Sorry.
yeah,
Yes.
so she used to make it, and her neighbor also, they were like the village life, no? So they will make it on their walls. So one day they had an argument, and it was so bad argument. They started literally quarreling, fighting loudly, and Janabai was telling, "This is my area, and this is my cow dung. These are my cakes," and the other lady was telling, "No, these are my cakes." And Narad Muni happened to come there, and people asked, like in disguise, and people asked him that how can a devotee like Janabai can quarrel like that? We can't even imagine this. Now what is the solution to this? And the soldiers there, they told, we will sort it out, wait. And Janabai said, give my cakes to me. He asked, how can you tell these are your cakes? These are your countdown cakes. She said, bring your ear closer to it and it will sound Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And they brought their ears closer, and Mataji, you won't believe the sound was coming from there. And then all the cakes were given to Janabai.
Right.
So this is the power of Lord's name when it goes even in the hands of a devotee and to the cakes of cow dung. So you see, so like
Thank
everything is
you. That's
purified.
lovely. Thank you so much, Mataji. And as soon as you started that story, exactly as Kadambini jumped in as well, cow dung, clearly the obvious. The cow is the devotee of Krishna, and we use everything from the cow, including urine and dung, in purification. In the old days, in the villages, cow dung was used for the walls of homes and all those sorts of things.
Hare Krishna, Jamuna. I was just wanting to add one point over here.
Yes.
Now, all the senses which we have in this material body, starting from our tongue and from belly and genitals and all those things. Now, if these things are not in order, we are not in a healthy, body, we cannot do any devotional service. If we do wrong, if we eat wrong things, and if we eat the prasadam, there is a difference. And prasadam is actually purifying all our organs, starting from the tongue. So unless until we have the proper prasadam, our body will be not healthy. And if our body is not healthy, we use this body for devotional service. That's how it is that body, mind, and senses, we have all should be purified. Then we can serve Krishna. Otherwise, without body, this body is given to us to serve Krishna. And unless we purify these senses within us, we cannot serve Krishna. So all these things which are in this body, Krishna has made this. The digestive system is not working. We are not able to evacuate properly. We have got different sort of problems in our body. We cannot serve Krishna. So we can use all this in the service. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. And that is the top post bhakti. Thank you very much. I just wanted to add that. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Awesome. Okay.
Thank you all. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji. All right, we'll end there. Thank you, everyone, for your attendance and listening so nicely. All glories to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki.
Jai.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki.
Ki jai. Our grace, Jamuna Devi Dasi ki jai.
Haribo.